This lesson covers political parties and what they do. What is a political party? A political party is a group of people who seek to control government by winning elections and holding office. The two major parties in American politics are the Republican and Democratic parties. Parties can be principle-oriented, issue-oriented, or election-oriented. The American parties are election-oriented. What are the four major functions of political parties? Political parties nominate candidates. They recruit, choose, and present candidates for public office. Political parties inform and activate supporters. They campaign, define issues, and criticize other candidates. Political parties act as a bonding agent. They guarantee their candidate is worthy of the office. Political parties govern. The members of government act according to their partisanship or firm allegiance to a party. Political parties act as a watchdog. Political parties that are out of power keep a close eye on the actions of the party in power for a slip-up to use against them in the next election. Why does the United States have a two-party system? The first reason is the historical basis. The nation started out with two parties, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. The second reason is the force of tradition. America has a two-party system because it always has had one. Minor parties lacking wide political support have never made a successful showing, so people are reluctant to support them. The third reason is the electoral system. Certain features of government, such as single-member districts, are designed to favor two major parties. The fourth reason is ideological consensus. Most Americans have a general agreement on fundamental matters. Conditions that would spark several strong rivalries do not exist in the United States. How do multi-party and one-party systems function, and what are their influences on government? Some advantages include providing a broader representation of the people, more responsive to the will of the people, and giving voters more choices at the polls. Some disadvantages include causing parties to form coalitions, which can dissolve easily, and failure of coalitions can cause instability in government. There are two types of one-party systems. The first example is a one-party system where only one party is allowed. An example would be a dictatorship such as Stalinist Russia. The second example is a modified one-party system, where one party wins most elections. An example would be the Republican North and Democratic South until the 1950s. From the 1950s to contemporary times, there has been a shift in political party ideology. Today, we have the Democratic North and the Republican South. What membership characteristics do American parties have? The family, major events, economic status, religion, occupation, and age are all major characteristics of political party identification. How did the United States political parties originate? The Federalists, led by Alexander Hamilton, represented wealthy and upper-class interests. They favored a strong executive leadership and a liberal interpretation of the Constitution. The Anti-Federalists, led by Thomas Jefferson, represented the common man. They favored Congress as the strongest arm of government and a strict interpretation of the Constitution. What are the three major periods of single-party domination? The era of the Democrats, from 1800 to 1860. Democrats dominate all but 2 presidential elections. The Whig Party emerges in 1834 but declines by the 1850s, electing only 2 presidents. The Republican Party is founded in 1854. The era of the Republicans, from 1860 to 1932. The Republicans dominate all but 2 presidential elections. The Civil War disables the Democratic Party for the remainder of the 1800s. The return of the Democrats from 1932 to 1968. Democrats dominate all but 2 presidential elections. Democrat Franklin Roosevelt is elected president 4 times. What characterizes the current era of government? The start of a new era, the era of divided government. Since 1968, neither Republicans nor Democrats have dominated the presidency, and Congress has often been controlled by the opposing party. Divided government can create gridlock, making it very difficult to pass new legislation. From 1968 to 1976, the Republicans controlled the presidency and Democrats controlled Congress. From 1976 to 1980, Democrats have controlled the presidency and Democrats have also controlled Congress. From 1980 to 1992, Republicans controlled the presidency and both parties have controlled Congress. From 1992 to 2000, Democrats have controlled the presidency and Republicans have controlled Congress, and from 2001 to present times, both parties have controlled the presidency and Congress. What types of minor parties have been active in American politics? Types of minor parties. Ideological parties. An example would be the Libertarian Party. Single-issue parties. An example would be the Free Soil Party. Economic protest parties. An example would be the Greenback Party. And the Splinter Party. An example would be the Bull Moose or Progressive Party. Why are minor parties important even though they seldom elect national candidates? Minor parties play several important roles. The first is the spoiler alert. Minor party candidates can pull decisive votes away from one of the major party's candidates, especially if the minor party candidate is from a splinter party. The second is as a critic. Minor parties, especially single-issue parties, often take stands on and draw attention to controversial issues that the major parties would prefer to ignore. The third is as an innovator. Often, minor parties will draw attention to important issues and propose innovative solutions to the problems. If these proposals gain popular support, they are often integrated into the platforms of the 2 major parties. Why do major parties have a decentralized structure? Both of the major parties are highly decentralized and fragmented. Why? The party out of power lacks a strong leader. The federal system distributes power widely, in turn, causing the parties to be decentralized. The nominating process pits party members against one another because only one person can be chosen to be the party's presidential candidate. How does the national party machinery and the state and local party machinery operate? All 4 elements of both major parties work together loosely to achieve the party's goals. The National Convention, the congressional campaign committees, the national chairperson, and the national committee. State and local party machinery. State and local party organization varies from state to state, but usually follow the general principles below. States are divided into congressional districts. In cities, districts are divided into wards. Wards are divided into precincts. In large cities, the smallest unit of party organization may be a single apartment building. What are the three components of the parties? The first component is the party organization, those who run and control the party machinery. The second component is the party in the electorate, those who always or almost always vote for party candidates. The third component is the party in government, those who hold office in the government. What are the future possibilities for the major parties? More people are unwilling to label themselves as Democrats or Republicans. Split ticket voting is very common. People vote for candidates of different parties for different offices at the same election. Changes in technology of campaigning, especially the use of television and the internet, have made candidates more independent of their party organization.